Kept you waiting, Doom Slayers, but it is time to list the Pinky and Spectre aka Bull Demon variants for the Complex Clusterfuck mod. Yes, I will list the Pinky and Spectre variants together because the number of variants combined is 25, with 10 of the variants being Spectres. They will be tested in the Ultraviolence difficulty, showing the name, spawn code, HP, rounded difficulty, spawn rate, movement speed, item drops, and if they have a soundtrack, I will display the song name and the author. The link to the official video that has the link to the mod is in the description. Also, this is before the updated CCF version 4.0, so when I am done with this variant episode, I will update my files. And if I also make a mistake or leave a detail out, just point it out in the comments. So let's just start. Here are the first two. Yes, I'm showing both because they function the same with one difference. The Bull Demon and the Spectre. They are brick red colored, they have one eye with black spines and horns, with the Spectre being partially invisible. They are obviously the most common, have the regular demon sounds, and their standard movement speed is medium slow, which is faster than the standard speed of zombies and imps. They have 150 health, they don't have any long ranged attacks, and rely on close ranged ones, which they have 2 of. The first is a lunge bite attack at a short range, and second is their regular touch distance bite attack. They do not take much to kill, which is at least 2 regular shotgun shots, which also means multiple can be killed with an explosive. Giving them the lowest difficulty grade of F-, which is the same for the Spectre variants because even though they're partially invisible, they're not that hard to see or notice because of their footsteps. Maybe at a long range, but that doesn't affect its level completely. They drop what most low-rank demon monsters drop, just rank 1 orbs, which are the small armor essence and life essence. The second 2 variants, the Cyber Fiend along with its Spectre counterpart, the Lurker. Brick red with no eyes but have the same vision as other enemies, with grey tech spikes and grey cybernetic legs. They are the second most common variants. They have deeper demon sounds with cyber footstep sounds, and their movement speed is a bit faster than the previous demon variants. They have 200 health, and their attacks are the same as the last 2 variants, a lunge attack and a melee attack. It is barely stronger than the previous. The amount to kill a Cyber Fiend or Lurker is roughly just 1 shotgun shot above the previous. At least 3 full shotgun shots. Also, their health is again low enough to kill multiple with an explosive, giving it the F- grade. As for their drops, it is the same rank 1 healing orbs. Now for one at a time, a Spectre variant. This is the Mechtre. Peach skin, No eyes, short normal horns with cybernetic legs. It is an uncommon variant. They have the deep demon sounds, similar to the Cyber Fiend, and their stats are similar to the Lurker, but with a big difference. This time it can be completely invisible, unlike the Lurker. They have 200 health and have the same speed and attacks as the last two variants. Recapping their complete invisibility, the only way they can reappear briefly is if it's during some of their attacks, or if they get damaged. A good strategy to know where it is located is by listening to its footsteps, which should not be hard by using an assault rifle, assault shotgun, or plasma pistol. They take just as much to kill as the Cyber Fiend and Lurker, just a little more tricky to hit them with explosives, unless if it's with a mine, which puts their grade one above the last, which puts the Mechtre at an F neutral grade. And their drops are again the same as the last. Time for the element variants. This is a regular demon variant, the Magma Fiend. Demonic red, standard eyes with yellow details with black horns and spikes. Uncommon variant, sounds which I will call the strong demon sounds, and have the standard bull demon movement speed. It has 250 health, and not only does it do melee attacks and lunge attacks, which it rarely does, but it also has 2 ranged attacks. Its noticeable ranged attack is the standard projectile speed fireball it spits out. Its second ranged attack is a short-range fire breath, which is a stream of projectiles, which is the most damaging if you let it hit you. Even though it has 50 more health, it still doesn't take much to kill it. At least 3 to 4 full shotgun shots. You can kill at least one and damage others with a single explosive. This puts their difficulty at F neutral, and its drops are again the same as the last. Next element fiend, the Toxic Fiend. Green with standard eyes, black spines and horns emitting green smoke particles. Uncommon, they have the strong demon sounds, and their movement has the standard mid-slow walking speed. It has 350 health, which is 100 higher than the Magma Fiend. Like the Magma Fiend, it also has ranged projectile attacks, except they have more and a bit more powerful. Not only do their projectiles can emit other gas clouds when they hit something, but they can also sometimes home in on their target. It also retains the lunge and bite attacks. At 350 health, and along with its homing projectile attack, it is harder than the previous ones, taking more shots to kill, and being able to survive getting hit by an explosive. It could prove tricky if there was multiple at a time, especially since they have homing projectiles, which puts their difficulty at an F+ grade. Its higher difficulty doesn't come without better possible rewards. This time the Toxic Fiend can not only drop the rank 1 healing orbs, but also the large versions, which give 25 points, and they can also drop demon tech charges. The Cold Nightmare, which you can tell it's a Spectre variant. While it is not completely invisible like the Mechtre, it is much more transparent and much harder to see than other Spectre variants. Blue with large black horns, and spines with normal eyes. Uncommon Spectre variant. Strong bull demon sounds and standard demon speed with 300 health. Only during some of their attacks would they briefly become more visible, which are the best times to attack. They can throw an ice ball, which doesn't split into others after impact, but can be damaging. They also still have the lunge and bite attacks. Health-wise and attack-wise, they're easier than the Toxic Fiend. Only their invisibility puts their rank at an F+ grade. If their attacks and health were similar to the Toxic Fiend, it would be an E- grade. Their drops have the rank 1 healing orbs, but also the plasma battery packs. The Necro Fiend, also known as the Corrupt Fiend in the spawn code. It is a regular demon variant. It has the shape of an original demon that is dirt necro colored, obviously uncommon. They have different demon sounds and have near regular movement speed, with 300 health. The Necro Fiend has some strange things about it. One is that it can slowly recover its health. Another thing is its volley attack. If you stand at a touching distance to it, the projectiles go right through you. Now to actually cover the attacks, obviously having the lunge and bite attacks, but its projectile attack, not only does it go through the player, but the damage it does comes from the gas clouds it emits during its lifetime, which gives it a very moderately high radius of where it does damage. It can also be stopped if it hits other enemies. Due to its slow self-healing, you don't need high-grade weaponry to kill it, but you do need to not make long delays whenever you take cover or whatever. You can kill one and damage multiple with a single explosive, and easily finish off others like it with regular weapons. As for its drops, rank 1 health orbs, but also the red rank 2 armor orbs. The Chaingun Fiend, regular demon variant. It has a similar appearance to the Cyber Fiend, with brick skin, short horns, and cyber spines with cybernetic legs, but also a chain gun for a mouth. Uncommon, 275 health, strong demon sounds, and similar medium speed to the Cyber Fiend. Their melee attack is only the lunge attack because they have no mouth to bite with. But its signature attack is by Chaingun, which is as dangerous as the attack of any other Chaingun enemy. In the long term, it's a dangerous attack, even at a medium range from the Chaingun Fiend. If there's a group of these, either find some cover or stay far away while shooting them as much as you can. Since their health is not as high, being lower than the Necro Fiend's 300 health, you can kill a few of them with a single explosive. This gives them their F neutral grade. Not only do they drop rank 1 healing orbs, but also the rank 1 healing pickups and ammo satchels. They can also drop the minigun. The Demon Tech Fiend, or D-Tech Fiend for short, regular demon variant. Black skinned, green eyes, cyber spines, short horns, cybernetic legs, and a gun in the mouth. It is uncommon, they have 300 health, strong demon sounds with medium speed, but it can also shift its speed to medium fast for a period of time while also leaving short after images. Its attacks include the lunge attack, and its ranged attack are as guessed, a burst of Demon Tech rifle shots. It occasionally fires its weapon when you are at least medium range, but it does not do it when it is far away. Their rank is the same as the Chaingun Fiend, because while they are faster and have more health, their ranged attacks are dodgeable projectiles, so they get the same rank, being F neutral. Not only does it have rank 1 healing orbs, but also the Demon Tech charges and sometimes the Demon Tech rifle. The Void Fiend, a Spectre variant. It has a strange opacity to it. It appears to be black with a red shadow on it. It also seems to have the same shape as a regular bull demon. Uncommon, medium speed, strong demon sounds, and it has 200 health. There isn't anything special about the Void Fiend besides how it looks. Its attacks are literally what most other demons have. Lunge and bite. You can even kill more than one with a grenade. Much lower than the previous others, so they get an F- grade. Its drops are also the same as what others have, nothing special. The Spook, Spectre variant. Regular demon shape, black with red eyes, and are a bit tricky to see. Uncommon like most. Deep and strong demon sounds, medium walking speed, and 250 health, which is 50 higher than the Void Fiend. Speaking of that, it functions almost the same as the Void Fiend. Again, its attacks are the same boring 2 attacks. The only other difference from the Void Fiend is that it has a little more health, even though you can still kill some with 1 grenade. Just for its little more health, it gets an F neutral grade. It drops rank 1 orbs. Okay, now for an interesting one. This is the Faceless Spectre. Completely black, no face, high transparency. More uncommon than the other Spectre variants. They have deeper strong demon sounds, have 450 health, and their movement speed is medium slow, but that doesn't mean you should be close to it. In fact, you gotta stay away from it. This brings up their attack. Even though they have the same melee and lunge attack, it has a new twist to it. Whenever you get hit by the Faceless Spectre, it can blind you for a second and slow your movement speed, leaving you vulnerable to itself and other enemies for a brief period of time. Being hit by the Faceless Spectre around fast enemies can be a horrible combination. Another thing is that it doesn't make any footstep sounds. It makes growling noises, but that's the only other way you can tell where it is. That is not all. It can also make lesser shadow clones of itself, which have 20 health points to confuse the player. Its high health can help it survive a single explosive, which puts the Faceless Spectre at an E- grade. Finally, the first non-F grade on the list. It has some pretty good drops. The rank 3 armor pickup, and also the haste sphere, which helps as a good quick recovery and boost if you got hit by any slow status. The Abyssal Hound. It is a regular demon variant. It has a unique appearance to it, blood red skin with a goblin-like head, and walks in all fours with its own sounds. It is a rare variant, with medium fast speed, no footstep sounds, and has 220 health. Do not let its health make it look easy. It has some dangerous attacks. Not counting its bite and lunge attacks, its first attack is the purple homing projectile that have a decent rotating speed and can damage you while going through you. The longer you touch it, the more damage it does. Its second, black projectile, is even worse. Not only can it fire a couple at a time and home in on its target at a quick projectile speed, but it can also bounce off of surfaces, which can make them even more difficult to avoid. On top of that, when they hit, they can directly hit your health, ignoring your armor, and it also deals a debuff which temporarily decreases your attack power. You can kill some of them with a single explosive. Maybe a bit tricky with the speed it has, but its dangerous attacks put it at an E neutral grade. The drops are the same as the Necro Fiend, which are the rank 1 health orbs and the rank 2 armor orbs. The Insanity variant, the Rabid Fiend. It is a Spectre variant. Standard demon shape, dark gray skin, and red eyes with half transparency. Like all Insane variants, it is rare. It also has deep demon sounds. Similar to the Faceless Spectre, it has 450 health, which is the second most health of all non-legendary variants. It also has medium fast speed. Also, when it moves around, it leaves a long trail of after images. It has the usual lunge and bite attacks, but its bite attack seems to have more of a punch to it. but its signature attack is the heavy projectile attack that does a lot of damage, which you should avoid. As guessed, it can take more than one explosive to kill it. Even though its health is higher than the Abyssal Hound, its projectile is not as hard to avoid, and it is easier to see than the Faceless Spectre, so in the end, it gets an E- grade. It drops rank 1 healing orbs, but it also can drop the demon tech charges. Now for the Face Fiend. It is a regular demon variant. It is black with large horns and black spines, a single purple eye, and cybernetic legs. Like most, it is uncommon. It has deep demon sounds, has 280 health, and its speed is medium slow, but it can also shift its speed to medium fast when it cloaks itself partially invisible, and while it is cloaked, it also does not make any footstep sounds. Its attacks are the usual lunge and bite, but also the purple homing projectiles that go through the player until it hits a surface. You could kill and damage multiple with an explosive. It's not as hard as the last ones, which puts it at an F neutral difficulty, but it's to show its brutal Spectre counterpart. Its drops are the rank 1 healing orbs and demon tech charges. This is the Phase Nightmare, and rightfully named the hardest non-legendary variant, a Spectre variant. It may be the Spectre counterpart to the previous, but like I said, it is a monster compared to it. Completely different. It seems to have the shape of a regular demon, black skin, purple eyes, and its main body is not shown, but instead it emits rapid after images around it, which is the only way to see it, which makes it hard to know where it exactly is. Not only is it the rarest non-legendary variant, but it also has the highest health out of all of them, set at a whopping 700. It has deep and strong sounds with no footstep sounds. One thing that makes it hard is its fast speed and hard to locate exact location. The bigger thing that makes it hard are the abundance of attacks it has. Its melee attack can surely blind you and also redirect where you're aiming, and it can do it multiple times in a row, which can disorient the player. It can fire a multiple spread of phase fireballs like the Phase Fiend, but it can also throw larger waving phase projectiles. It can also fire a spread of deadly dark matter projectiles that are fast. You do not want to move slow when this thing is present. You have to move. This can also force the player to attempt to place mines around corners and edges. If there's more than one, which is extremely rare, it can be a pain as demonstrated here. Its difficulty of termination, which is the confusing after images while it's hiding its true body and location, along with the attacks it has, puts the Phase Nightmare at a D+ difficulty, and that's very high for non-legendary variants. You do get a good reward if you kill it. They can drop demon tech charges, but also the Phase Sphere, which can be in your inventory, and when activated, it can make you completely invisible and move faster. Now for the legendary variants. The Legendary Fiend. Gold, black large horns and spines, blue details emitting gold particles, and a gold light aura. It is rare, has 1050 health, and like all legendaries, they have their own sounds and their own soundtrack. Its speed can range from medium fast to very fast. It has teleportation abilities, which increases its maneuverability. Like all legendaries, it is immune to legendary weapons, and it is not recommended to get up close to it, as its melee attacks do a lot of damage.
First blood.
Speaking of melee, it has a special lunge attack. It charges up with a blue light aura, and during the charge, it sometimes becomes invulnerable when it launches its lunge attack, which is also very fast. So when it charges, immediately get into cover and far away. If you don't find cover, strafe as much as you can away from it, because even if it doesn't touch you directly, the lunge attack can still damage you because of the area effect the lunge attack has. Being anywhere close to the Legendary Fiend's lunge attack can still hurt you. Its projectile attacks include the blue fast, straight projectiles that may do a lot of damage, but can easily be avoided. But its other projectile attack is a fast, rapid-fire barrage of fast, surface-bouncing light boomerangs, which can be a pain to avoid in a smaller area. If you use a multi-barreled shotgun, it can immediately teleport the moment you fire it. Recommended weapons to use are the assault rifle and shotgun if available, and the demon tech rifle. Stay at a good range around some cover while using the weapons. The Legendary Fiend is a C+ grade. On death, its drops can include the large rank 1 healing orbs, legendary plasmatic cells and cell boxes, legendary armor, legendary power sphere, legendary time freeze sphere, and the legendary invisibility sphere. The Enraged Legendary Fiend. Gold, black spines and large horns, red details, red cybernetic legs with a red aura and red particles. It's a very rare variant, has 1550 health, and has similar movement speed to the Legendary Fiend. Its attacks are almost like the Legendary Fiend, but buffed up. It has the straight red projectiles that can throw a higher number in a row, and retains the bouncing boomerang projectiles. but its lunge attack is much stronger and with new tricks added. It can do more than one lunge attack in a row, making it quickly zoom from one spot to another, retaining its damaging area of effect. It can also pair this attack up with its Shadow Clone lunge attack, which its true self is stationary as it launches a few Shadow Clones before it launches its actual self. This can be deadly if you are cornered, so you never want to be in an enclosed area when you are fighting this thing. Again, highly recommended to use the Demon Tech Rifle. Do not underestimate this weapon. It is a legendary killer weapon. It is 3 grades above the previous, putting the Enraged Legendary Fiend at a B+ grade. Its drops include the legendary Healing Orbs, Enraged Plasmatic Rifle, Enraged Plasmatic Cells and Cell Box, Legendary Power Sphere, Legendary Time Freeze Sphere, Legendary Invisibility Sphere, the Enraged Legendary Armor, and the Enraged Legendary Power Shard. This is the only legendary variant of the Spectres. This is the Legendary Apparition, gold, faceless, blue details with gold particles and light. A rare demon variant and the most rare Spectre variant. It is one of the strangest and confusing enemies to fight in all of CCF, and maybe also one of the most creepy enemies to fight. It has 1010 health and has its modified Bull Demon sounds. Its maneuverability is chaotic. Firstly, like other legendaries, it has teleportation. It can even be more hidden than other Spectre variants because it pairs up its temporary, complete invisibility with the teleportation, making it very hard to know where it is. It's also invulnerable when it does this. The only way to try to tell where it is located is by listening, but even that is difficult, and sometimes you may see a blue smoke around, but that is mostly used to further trick players. Like the Faceless Spectre, it can make fake clones of itself, which it has 2 different types. It can make a clone that can last a moment, so that it can hide its true self to make the player guess where the real one is. The second type of shadow clone it creates are multiple, solid fake clones that look like they spawn out of nowhere, attacking in different directions, although they do no damage, but it's used to further confuse the player. While it does this, its true self remains invulnerable. It can also attempt to intimidate you by mimicking the player's appearance, along with the player's movement. Some of the other attacks include waving projectiles that of course do a lot of damage. that if you have 200 health and armor, it can still take a fourth of your health away along with more armor. It has regular melee and lunge attacks, but also the charging lunge attack that doesn't seem to have an area effect around it, but it's still dangerous because when it hits, it can do an explosive knockback. A good strategy is to be far from it while making short bursts with the assault type weapons, and using the Demon Tech rifle in closer ranges. In the end, their difficulty is B neutral. On death, the legendary Apparition can drop the following: legendary healing orbs, legendary plasmatic rifle along with its cells and cell box, legendary time-free sphere, legendary armor, and the legendary power sphere. Okay, now for the legendary suicide bomber. It is included in the Chaingun variants, but the other higher legendary suicide bombers were exclusive to the demon variants, so here is the first one. Bald, gold outfit, blue mouth, gold light and aura, holding which seems to be a nuclear missile. Rare spawn, 450 health, and has the sounds of a regular zombie and the Serious Sam kamikaze. Its regular speed only goes up to mid-fast, however when it charges, which is its only attack, its speed is very fast, and it will keep charging at you until you are out of sight, or if you kill it first, which is unlikely, so you need to be always right next to something to hide behind, or in a higher elevation to prevent it from blowing up on you, because these legendary variant bombers are one-hit kills, no matter how much health and armor you have. One interesting thing about the legendary suicide bomber is that it doesn't play nice with other monsters. It can run into others and bomb itself into other monsters that damage it and kill almost all in its line of sight in a very long range. That's the other thing about the legendary suicide bomber. Its explosion is an extremely long range. Also pairing this with its health, making it take a while to kill, so this gives it a C- grade. If it's killed outside of its suicide, it does not do its signature explosion. It is still a zombie type, so watch out if it spawns a legendary soul. Its drops include the legendary ammo sphere and the legendary sphere. The Enraged legendary suicide bomber. Bald, gold outfit, red mouth, red light and smoke particles. It is a very rare spawn, has 650 health, which is one of the things that adds to its difficulty. It also has some different sounds than the previous. Its deadly, long-range suicide explosion when it touches its target is retained from the previous, which is again its only method of attack. Its walking and charge speeds are also still there. Besides its health, what else makes the Enraged legendary suicide bomber harder? Well, there is one major, somewhat chance-based thing that makes it harder. It can resurrect itself, which can also be confused if it spawns an Enraged legendary soul. Sometimes while it resurrects, if you go far away, it will fail to resurrect. This puts the Enraged legendary suicide bomber at C neutral. Its drops are also similar to the last one, Legendary Sphere and Legendary Ammo Sphere. And now for the Nemesis Suicide Bomber. Bald, black mouth, dark aura, and smoke holding a purple bomb, which I believe is a reference to the purple toy joke. It has 750 health. It is the second most rare, and the sounds that it comes with can be more annoying than the last one, especially the soundtrack. This one is much harder, not just because its suicide explosion is a large explosion with a black hole, but also because of its new ability to its movement. That's right, teleportation. While its walking speed is the slow zombie speed, it does not mean it's safe to be around where it sees you, because its charging speed is much faster than the others after it hops. It can be very hard to predict knowing when it's going to charge, especially since it could teleport right around you before it blows itself up right next to you. Another good strategy to use against the legendary ranked suicide bombers is to try to place mines around corners that it make walk around, especially the spring mines. If it is far away, which it can still charge quickly, try using the railgun or the assault rifle. This gives their difficulty an A- grade. One other thing about legendary suicide bombers is that they can blow themselves up when they have low health. When it dies, it has a chance to spawn a Nemesis soul. It can drop the legendary ammo sphere. Also, that is not all. It has a second form which can also be the rarest variant of them all. It can resurrect to this form even without the true legendary rune or killing it quickly. Okay, you know what? I'm tired of this stupid ass song. It's time to change it. Alright, the Vexed Nemesis Suicide Bomber. Bald, white outfit, white light and smoke. It could teleport more frequently. It also has more immunities compared to the Nemesis Suicide Bomber. Not only is it immune to Nemesis weapons, but also railgun shots. Yes, that's right, railguns cannot damage it. If you are in a dark map, then it could be easy to tell where it is. If it successfully does its suicide explosion, not only does it do the legendary explosion followed by a black hole, but it also emits a full spread of large, fast-moving, surface-bouncing Nemesis BFG projectiles, which could be next to impossible to avoid.
First blood.
This gives the Vexed Nemesis Suicide Bomber an A+ difficulty. Its Drops include the Legendary Ammo Sphere, Enraged Legendary Sphere, Nemesis Armor Sphere, and a chance for it to spawn a cluster of Nemesis Armor Shards, Nemesis Life Orbs, and Nemesis Energy Cells. And that is it for the Demon/Spectre variants. In the next episode, I will update my complex clusterfuck files to version 4, then cover the new variants in the Zombies, Shotgunners, Chaingunners, Imps, and the Bull Demons. So to all of you Slayers out there, have a great life.